How we doing, everybody? Well, hey, you probably knows I ain't been on TikTok for a while because apparently I've been banned till after the end of the month. So, fuck them. Bunch of commies anyhow. But anyhow, I just thought I would see how everybody's doing today. I did a little video on Melania Trump on the TikTok, but it looks like it posted to YouTube, but TikTok won't post it because I've been bad. Apparently said something about some scumbag lefty loony or something, maybe like Sig Reuter or something like that. That scumbag, the one who was saying that I'm stalking him and said, well, his wife showed me all kinds of stuff earlier today that he's got in the local rag and stuff around here, saying all kinds of shit about me because I'm running for assembly. Anybody who votes for Marshall is a bunch of fucking idiots and shit, There's the same guy that's so terrified of me, he runs to the police, and the judge, had tried to get a stalking order on me and shit, which I kicked his ass in court on. But anyhow, to you, Sig Reuter, you belly crawling fucking leech of a human being who should be put down like a rabid dog. You, sir, are a piece of shit, and everybody knows it. You go around town exposing yourself. If anybody sees this pig in a taxi, do not especially let any of your young children, your daughters or sons or anything in the car with him, because he is a real scumbag human being, and I don't know how many times he's been cited for exposing himself and indecent exposure and stuff. It's been quite a few times, but anyhow, quick warning to anybody around Sitka who comes to visit Sitka to watch out for him, because you'll know him first off. There's no doubt about it. You look at this guy and you say, yeah, that guy has gotten away with a lot of shit in his day, probably when it comes to inappropriateness with people. I'll just put it at that and leave it there. And, with everything going on with these kids and everything nowadays, it's we got to keep our eye open, keep all of our children safe. So anyhow, did you see that stuff on Melania Trump? She put in a pathway to make it accessible, because now people in wheelchairs and stuff, people who have disabilities, can actually get up close to the garden and stuff and see it. Before, they didn't have no path right in front of it, and now they do. And I thought it was a pretty amazing thing to do, and why it wasn't thought of before, beyond me, but she thought of it, and she did it, and made some arrangements. They took out some trees, planted some trees, and the trees they took out, it's not even like they cut them down and got rid of them. They replanted them somewhere else, So, but now she's a horrible, horrible human being for doing that. Well, you know what? They could just suck it, because they would never say nothing like that about Michael Obama. When Michael was in the garden or something, all they could say about how great his arms were. Oh, look how great Michael's arms are. Oh, I bet he, Barack must really love being held by old Michael with those big, strong arms, People ain't going to like I said that, but you know what? Start looking at some of the pictures and checking out some of the facts and photos and video. And, there's a little something happening downstairs there that ain't on any female I've ever dated anyhow. So, I'll let you make up your own mind on that. But let's see. COVID. It is really getting crazy, huh, people? I'm going to be doing a thing on Australia, because I had a gentleman send me a link the other day, and I'm going to put the link out there here pretty quick, the next day or two, about what's going on in Australia. They are literally locked down over there now, and I mean locked tight. And they have no rights, they have no recourse. And one of the main things people are talking and complaining about right now, you want to know what their number one thing is they're saying they should have never done? I'll tell you, that's give up their fucking firearms, excuse my language. But, they slowly over there, they did, like they did in many other countries in the past, we're going to get rid of pistols, short gun. There's no reason to have a pistol, unless you're going to kill somebody. You don't use pistols for hunting and this and that. Every excuse in the world why you shouldn't have it. Well, you know what? They browbeat and convince and talk the people into doing it. Well, you know what? They gave up all their short guns, their pistols and whatnot. Well, several years on down the road, guess what they did next? Then they started talking about the long guns. Well, they wanted to know how many was in the country. So what did they do? They started gun registration. What are they trying to do here? Gun registration. Because what it is, folks, they wanted, if you register our guns, which you don't have to, don't ever let them lie to you and say you have to register guns. I realize in some of these real left-wing cities and states, they have some type of registration or something because they make it to where they have to have all your information or they ain't going to give you the quote license to own a gun, which you shouldn't even have to have a license. It's your God-given right. And that's right, I said it, God-given right to own a firearm and to protect you and your family. And the reason we got our Second Amendment is not for hunting. A lot of people, you hear these, Buttigieg and the other piece of crap from Texas there, that you hear them talking about how, oh, we don't want to confiscate your guns. And that. Well, yes, they do. And the first thing of confiscation is registration. Because once you register all your guns, then they know where they're all at. And when, like they did in Australia and stuff, when they decide they're ready and they don't want their people to be armed anymore, be able to defend themselves against the government, then they come to your house. Then they want to know, okay, Mr. Albertson, you've got 17 guns here that are registered in your name that you registered back when we did the registration. We want you to make all those 17 of those guns available to us right now. We want to see them. So what you do, you go back into your room, into your safe, into your closet, under your bed, wherever you might have your firearms, and you bring them out to them. And they start checking the serial numbers. Yep, looks like all 17 are here. Do you have any other firearms, Mr. Albertson? No, sir, I don't. Just those ones we had registered. All right, well, thank you, Mr. Albertson. We will be taking these with us. And that's exactly what they did. And now they virtually have no rights. I mean, a very chosen few over there, and they got to go through the rigmarole. Let me tell you, I was over in New Zealand hunting 2 years ago, and it's not a whole lot different there, except they have managed to keep their rifle rights and stuff. But you can't, if you own a pistol over in New Zealand, which is right across the water from Australia, you have to call the cops. If you have a pistol at your house, if they allow you to have one, if you want to go to the range, which basically is the only place you can take it, you have to call the police station, say, this is Marshall Albertson, I'm getting ready to go to whatever shooting range there is, 17 miles away. I'm going to be traveling from 1 o'clock to 1:30. I'll be there. I'm going to shoot for a couple hours, and I'll be back home from 3 to 3:30. And you have to, that strict timelines and stuff, you have to let their government know just to be able to take your gun to the gun range and shoot it. Now, with their rifles and stuff, I will give them a couple things. As far as suppressors go, they shoot everything suppressed over there, and which is a good thing. It's good for hearing protection. It's also good for noise reduction, so you don't scare off all the other neighbors or even animals that you're hunting. So, I'll give them that much. But back to Australia, it's almost impossible to own a firearm. And if you do own a firearm, boy, you are under the thumb of the government. Well, that's what they want to do here. We will not allow them to do it. That's what they're trying to do with the NRA and that crazy son of a bitch gal up there in New York, who instead of, even if everything they were saying about LaPierre and everything in the NRA, even if all that stuff is true, which they're basically, as of right now, they are denying it. They are saying it is not true. And when we go to court, that's when the evidence will come out. But even if that was the case and they are 100% guilty of everything that bitch is accusing them of, well, guess what? They should go after those individuals that did wrong. Am I right or am I wrong on that? You don't shut down the whole organization. When was the last time you seen them shut down whole organizations that have millions and millions and millions of members? Of course, they're not the lefty loonies, so they want us abolished. But when was the last time you heard of that? They're shutting down a whole organization, all because there was some corruption in the organization because possibly some people got sticky fingers and stole or used money to fund their lifestyle, the rich and famous, or whatever the case may be. So just remember, folks, do not ever register your weapons. You do not have to. do not ever let the government give the government an accurate account. They should never know how many guns you have in your house. You tell them none or hundreds, and that's all they need to know. So stay safe out there. We have given away 25 guns now in the last 5 or 6 weeks, and about $5,000 in cash to some families that need it. We got a few more guns that are still going out. I think we got 2 going out tomorrow, and that's all part of the total of the 25. So anyhow, those of you that's received a firearm out there and have been writing me and telling me thank you and stuff, you're very welcome from the bottom of my heart. We're going to try to keep this going for hopefully for the next several years. But we're going to keep trying to put firearms in good Americans' hands. Tomorrow I'll be doing another YouTube, and we'll also be mentioning a couple GoFundMes that are out there. Nothing to do with me, just that a couple people were trying to help. And we'll go from there. Otherwise, everybody stay safe. God bless you. I love you all. Sorry I haven't been able to do anything on TikTok, but the commies keep kicking me off. And I know it's the lefties, loonies around this town that call them, as soon as I put up a video and they don't like what it says, about going upside some Antifa's head with the baseball bat or something, they find that not good. But, if I was a lefty talking about cutting off Trump's head or something, boy, they'd let you post that all day, just dangling there with Mr. Trump's head in your hand. That's all okay. Facebook just took off over 10,000 conservatives and groups off Facebook. Over 10,000. I haven't been able to find where they've taken off any lefty loonies. So that should tell you something, everybody. Anyhow, God bless you. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.